Well, welcome everybody. It's another episode. This is actually our 30th episode of Shorty Sneaker Conversations. We'll be starting just a second. Hopefully our guest will be with us shortly. There's our guest. We'll wave to her and invite her again. Just sent you the request. So good being back. On here. Saying you're unable to join.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. It was like moving really slow. I don't know.
It
Okay.
happens.
Hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
now you're frozen.
I'm frozen? You can't hear me at all?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay.
You're like
Okay.
freezing.
Really?
Okay, that might be better. That might be better now.
Yeah, you real grainy too. All right. All right. Well, how are you today?
I am doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Glad to
Just in.
be off.
Just in. I feel you
I
on
always
that.
try to
Me
keep
too. I feel you.
I was middle,
I
you know.
got you.
As
Oh, my mom is in. Hey, Mom.
hello. All right. Well, before we
You always got to
come
shout
here,
out the mamas, always.
for show. Before we get started, ask you the most positive thing you took from 2020.
That's a good question. I think the most positive thing I took from 2020 was to not stress the things you can't control. And that's something I think we all had to deal with because COVID, it was nothing we can really do about it, but it really helped me hone in on just focusing on the positive and what I can control because I'm an overthinker already. So it really helped me to kind of just like really work on that and just daily affirmation. So I have to say that was probably the biggest thing, not stressing over stuff and people that I can't control. Things and people we can't control. And there's no reason to stress over it. But, like I said, I'm an overthinker. So I had to really hone that in. And I think I've gotten really good at it now, where I'm just like, okay.
I got you. Okay. Well, for the people who may not know, tell us about you. Who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Awesome. Well, I am Kiki. That's what I'm known as. And I'm originally from Charlotte, born and raised. I'm now in Durham. So that's why you saw me in the store because I'm right down the street in Durham. Um, and I am just like most female sneakerheads. I was a basketball player, so I was a hooper. So that's kind of, that's always an easy transition into becoming a sneakerhead if you play basketball. So I played basketball since I was in first grade. So, I never thought I would not be playing. I thought I was going to be in the WNBA. So, that type of hooper, AAU, all of that. My parents went broke every summer, camps, the huge. But that kind of transitioned me into being a sneakerhead because you wanted the hoop sneakers. So it was like whatever the hoop sneaker is, whether it be a team sneaker or just what you get during the summer or for school, you just wanted what was cool. And then in high school, I got was my second job. My first job was Baskin Robbins Dunkin' Donuts. My second job was at Champs, which was the real starter to the whole thing of me being a sneakerhead. So I started working at Champs when I was 16. So it's been on since then. And I was with Foot Locker Inc. all through high school and college. So I was at Champs, Foot Locker, and Foot Action. So,
Wow.
and I did Dick's as an adult later on in the shoe department. So yeah, that's got a bit heavy background with sneakers, big time, big time. But that's kind of what it started. I think just being a hooper is really what got me into sneakers, and I just love shoes. Period. You know, I get it honest. My mom loves shoes, and it just kind of passed down to me, and I just love shoes.
Cool. Well, I am also somebody who's worked for Foot Action, Foot Locker, and Champs at different points in time. I've had maybe
Yep.
3 or 4 duty with Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Um, it was very different, but I respected.
Yeah.
I worked at Champs like '06 to '08. It was cool, but it was just so much arrow to fold and deal with. I used to hate that shit.
Man. Oh, we
What?
used to rock, paper, scissors at the end of the night. Like, who gonna do this? I ain't doing it. Because people just come in and do this to the shirt table. Just, you like, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, with you having a hooping background, I appreciate that. I used to play. I mean, my love for basketball, it was hard for me to watch this finals, but it's
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been hard for me to watch, period. Like, which is surprising because my dad will call me and be like, hey, you watching a game? And I'll be like, oh, who playing? Because I haven't been really that interested, which is odd because I love basketball so much. But just the past few years, it hasn't really done it for me. Like, I haven't really been super interested. I'll watch, but it's just not the same. And I guess I'm like one of the old heads now, but like the game just ain't the same. Well, back in the good old days where they used to, and that's kind of how I feel. It's not the same. It's not the same. There's some great players. Don't get me wrong. There's some great players, but I don't know. I'm not really into it. I think the Warriors I was excited about them when they had that cohesion going because it was kind of like old school team ball for a little bit, when they went on that little kick. And then I kind of just lost interest again, to be quite honest.
Yeah, Golden State was special. And it's tough because I'm from Cleveland, so I'm supposed to hate Golden State. So
Yeah, but you can't hate on that. Couldn't
nah,
hate
I
on
mean,
it.
I do feel like the Cavs would have beat Golden State in 2015 if we would have been fully healthy.
Okay. It
But
would have been good. It would have been tough. It would have been tough.
you know, 17 and 18, we just and I'm from Cleveland. I've only been in North Carolina, uh, in a couple of weeks. It'll have been a year, but
Oh wow.
so um, I used to root against the Cavs whenever we play the Lakers. Like I'd go to the games with my Lakers stuff. You know
You
what I mean?
had
Because
to. I mean, you had to. Like,
that's how I was raised in the early '80s. The Cavs,
yeah.
so you had to have another team in general if you're from Cleveland. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, definitely, definitely. So how do you like North Carolina so far? Since, I'm a North Carolinian born and raised, I always like to ask people when they move here, like, how do you like it? It's been a year. What do you think? What's your vibe of North Carolina?
I'm still trying to find. Wow, now I'm getting all these texts and stuff. Now that I'm in the,
Of course,
I'm
of
still
course.
trying to find around. I mean, Mebane is an interesting place. I mean, it's kind of in the middle of, you know, Durham and Raleigh to the east, and
Yeah.
Greensboro to the west, and Charlotte's only 2 hours away. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of highway driving. I don't really like driving. I probably sound like an old man, but there's no. From the times I've taken routes to go places where it was no freeway, it was scary. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like,
A lot of back roads, no lights.
yeah, yeah, cool. The thing that I miss the most, other than my family and friends, is the thrifting down here really isn't the same because I'm a big thrifter.
It's I will say with the thrift, because I love the thrift as well. It is, you have to find your spots. Like there's little honey spots that you have to find. And you also have to be very just consistent and diligent of checking in. That's what I've learned about the thrifts here in this area. It's very hit or miss. It's not, but that's with thrifting, period. You're not always going to find something. But once you find like your little honey spots, then it'll be a little bit better. But you just got to find them. You just got to keep trying different ones and see, okay, well, this is my little honey spot, and kind of just keep checking back consistently.
Yeah, the only place that I've really found like that, it's been two places where I consistently find stuff. There is a Salvation Army that's in Burlington, and in Durham,
Mm.
there's this called Rumors. So,
You know what? I ain't even been
like,
there.
oh yeah, it's very for my Cleveland watchers, this is very similar to our area called Coventry, where
Okay.
it's real. It's a lot of vintage stuff. It's kind of hippie-ish. It's very, it's for everybody. It's gay friendly. It's for everybody. You know what I mean? So a lot of
Okay.
places down here, some places, you see certain things, certain signs, and you're like, oh, that's what we on. All right,
Yeah, 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 pretty much. I'm gonna have to
but
go check that out.
it's been good though. I initially didn't want to come, but it's been good since I've been here.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. That's
And
what's
why?
up.
I didn't know. I still thought you was in Charlotte. I didn't know you was in Durham.
No, I'm in Durham. I've been in Durham for like, gosh, I was just with one of my clients, and I can't believe it's been over 7 years now. Like it seemed like it just happened, but I've actually been in Durham for a minute. I actually moved here for an ex, unfortunately, but I had my own business. So once my business got going, then I just kind of I'm still here because my business is here. So that's kind of how I ended up in Durham. And like you, I did not want to come here. I was like, Durham. I was like, what's in Durham? I ain't never been to Durham. No disrespect to Durham, because obviously I've been here now for a few years, and it has not been bad to me at all. I can't knock it. It is what it is. It is what it is.
The last thing I'm gonna say is, Cleveland and Chicago is like this too. They're very racially segregated in the sense of
Mm-hmm.
it's a little different now, but like coming up, for east side of Cleveland is mainly, Cleveland proper is mainly black. The west side mainly white, some Puerto Rican. I still haven't found the hood here. You know what I'm saying? So
There's not really one. There's not gonna be not a real hood.
you know,
It's not gonna
like
be one.
yeah, it's not one collection of. So they are in Charlotte though. It's hoods
No,
in
not
Charlotte.
really. No, not
How,
really. I tell people that too. I'm like, there's not a real hood. There's some parts that you go through and you're like, mm. But as far as like the hood, I tell people all the time, I joke. Like I said, I'm a Charlotte baby. I'm a true Charlottean. And, we got the west side and a little bit of east side. But even then, it's still, compared to other cities' hoods, it is nothing. It's a cakewalk. It's a cakewalk. The
yeah,
projects that we did have, they're all tore down. And they're building,
wow.
different type of housing. Even our assisted housing is nice. So I mean, we don't really have no hood. Nah.
Yeah, that's been the biggest difference because it's like, you go into Cleveland, it's like, oh, you're in East Cleveland, you're in the rough part, you're in the black, this part is white.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not really like, but that's another big difference I've noticed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's North Carolina for you. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, let me ask you. I know before we get into questions, I have to ask, with you being an actual hooper, who
Mm-hmm.
was your favorite player? Back then.
Back then, ooh, I had a few. Like I went through little phases. Like there was I had a Damon Stoudemire phase. Because I was a guard. I had a Jason Kidd. Now Jason Kidd I was like in love with him as a player, and just physically, I was just had the hugest crush on him. I don't know what it was.
With the
Um, huh?
with the blonde hair too. Remember he was
Everything,
there that one time he was
every
with Phoenix.
everything. I just love. I had the basketball cards of Jason Kidd. I had the shoes. I had the jersey. Like I love Jason Kidd and Damon Stoudemire. And then I went through a Penny phase as well. I liked Penny. Trying to think who else, and then all of the Charlotte Hornets. Like back in the day, the Charlotte Hornets were major. So LJ, Alonzo, Muggsy, all of them, we
Curry.
were just like, yeah, Curry. We was at all the games. My dad was getting us tickets. So yeah, I was a diehard Hornets fan. Now watching them, it's just like, who are they? It's a totally different team, from then. But they back on the up and up. Hopefully, we'll
My
see. But
gift and a curse, man. It's like
yeah,
If I had the talent to make it to the NBA, I don't know if I would want to play for Michael Jordan. I'm saying this,
I wouldn't.
both got
I,
boxes and behind us. I don't know if
I
I would want.
wouldn't. I wouldn't. He is not love MJ as a player, but in the office and making executive decisions, no,
Yeah,
no.
because I mean, the last true All Star y'all had was what, Kimba? Or
Yeah,
did
and
y'all
then
have
now
anybody since?
Ball. Well, we got Ball now, rookie of the
Oh,
year.
yeah,
So they're trying to build a team around him. That's the goal now that they're saying they want to build a team around so we don't lose him. Because that's what happens. We get a good player in Charlotte, but then we suck so bad they end up getting picked up somewhere else. So with the draft that they did, that's literally what they were talking about. We're trying to build a team around Ball so we can keep him and possibly become a contender again. But we'll see. We'll see.
I have to lie. I can't lie to you. I haven't watched any games, and that's only because I have AT&T TV, and I never changed our address. So when I turn on TV,
Oh,
I still see
got
Cleveland
you.
News. You know,
Got you.
so yeah, my Fox Sports net still is on the Cavs, but um, it's weird being here too in the sports sense because there's no baseball team, which is fine, but the Panthers are
Yeah.
still. They came out when I was in 8th grade, '94.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hornets have only been around since what, '87 or '88. You know what I mean? So none of the teams
Hmm.
around here are old.
Yeah.
So it's just North Carolina and Duke. That's all it seems like.
That
It's
I'm about to say that was the big thing for a while because that's all we had for,
you know,
a long time. That's that rival, that Carolina Duke, that's what we had. That's why it's such a big rivalry and it's a big split. If you're from North Carolina, are you a Carolina fan or you a Duke fan? Like it was literally people walk up to you, Carolina or Duke. Like,
it,
which one are you?
it happened to me when I was getting my driver's license, and I was
See?
like,
Yep.
I mean, Michael Jordan, James, like I love James Worthy. He's one of my, he's on my favorite team. My favorite, Jordan, Worthy, Bob McAdoo,
Yeah, yeah.
Victor. I'm like, come on, it's got to be North Carolina. Rashid, Antoine Jameson. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on,
I mean, they've been
Felton.
stacked. They've been stacked. And
Yeah.
you want to hear something funny though? I'm not a fan of neither.
What
I'm
is
not
what
a fan of neither.
or who?
Huh,
No. Okay.
neither. I don't have one, and it blows people because a lot of my friends, like my sis is in here. She's a diehard Hills fan, and I'm just like, like when I watched the games, I didn't really care who won. It was just like a house divided for a lot of people. I'm just like, it's good basketball. It's a good game. It's a good rival game, but honestly, I've never been a diehard either one. Like I have Carolina stuff because of Jordan and matching shoes, but it's probably about it.
Now, as much as I love basketball, and this might be sacrilege since I live in North Carolina now, but I don't really like college basketball. I shouldn't even say I don't like it. I just don't follow it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a lot to follow.
yeah, if you're from Ohio, you have to love Ohio State. Like the Browns are just now getting good again. Since first time since I was a kid. So
Yeah,
we just and Cincinnati's been good from time to time with basketball. The Bearcats. They had the
yeah.
little Jordan Brand was new. Okay, okay, man. We talking about sports. I'm forgetting all of my.
My bad, my bad,
That's
my
cool.
bad.
So I know you said you've been hooping since 1st grade, but what's your earliest sneaker moment? Like, what was that first pair that got you into it, where you was like, I need those. Like, what was your first pair like that?
I probably say the pair that means the most to me, and I have like the fondest memory, like clear as day. Like remember walking in the mall, the smell, the outfit I had on, everything was my Damon Stoudemire's, and of course that was like in middle school. And I'd already liked sneakers before, but that particular shoe, it was like on my birthday. I'll never forget this. It was at that mall that's near Carowinds, which now I don't know if I think it's still there, but I'm not sure what's in it. But they used to have like a Nike in there, and it was my birthday. We were going to Carowinds right after, and I was like, I want these shoes. I had my outfit on already, so all I had to do was just put the sneakers on. So I already knew I was getting them. I'm like, yes, this is gonna be it. I had my little Nike shorts. I had my Nike shirt. I was like, all right, got them. And I bought them with my best
Ready to go.
friend. Yeah, I was ready. I bought them with my best friend. God rest her soul. She's no longer with us. So it means that shoe is just like it started it. It's like I actually got it. When I got it back, I did a reach back and got it. I cried like a baby when I got it, but I do have it in my collection. And I found it in excellent condition, original box, original paper, everything. I don't know how I did it, but I did.
We are talking about the air flight turbulence.
Yes. Yeah, I got
So
the, I'm trying to think, they actually are right behind me, or they were right behind me. Where are my babies? Where are they? Because I was just like so shocked in the condition. I've been moving stuff around, so they
did you?
were just.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry. I
said
didn't mean
what?
to cut.
Go ahead.
Do you have the black pair, or you have the white, black, and red pair?
I have the white and black pair, which I'm about to freak out because I'm trying to
Nah,
figure
you know
out
they there.
where
They
they're.
there
Oh,
somewhere.
I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. I had to move some stuff around because I keep getting more sneakers. You know how it is. And you have to keep rearranging. And they used to be right behind me, but I had to make more space. So now they're like, I had to push them over. But yeah, original box. You know, this OG Nike
Ooh, the
box.
box.
Yes. Yeah. If you know, you know. It's like when I saw the box, I was just like, oh my God, I haven't seen a Nike box like this in forever. And then it had, like I said, you had your like Nike card in here. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. I have
Nice.
not worn them yet. Um,
Girl, you
I
better wear that.
probably I don't I probably will. I definitely will. It just depends on the occasion, but pristine condition. Like the shoe is
Yeah.
so old. You know how old the shoe is. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was these are that's my baby. So when people ask me what's the most prized shoe I have or my most favorite shoe or whatever, it's this one. Just because of the sentimental value of it, basically.
I still have my pair. They're actually in my garage.
Ah, love it.
Close to being as good as yours. I don't have the box anymore, but I've had them since I was in high school. Um, I always kind of looked at them as and this ain't dissing the shoe at all. I always looked at it as a takedown of the Zoom Flight 5, the second J.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. And I got to get those.
Huh?
I said I got to get those. That's what I'm gonna hunt for next.
Yeah, they've retroed the white pair before, but never the black one. They put it on
Yeah,
Nike.
and I like the black one,
That's the
of
one.
course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have to ask. I mean, you definitely consider yourself a collector. I see the boxes, which you just know that, so we could just skip that question. So you were talking about, back in the day, that memory. Where was your favorite place back in the day to get sneakers?
Probably Eastland Mall, which is no longer in Charlotte for a few different reasons because it had all the sneaker stores. You had the Champs that I worked at because that's the mall that I worked at as well. But you had the
Okay.
Champs in there. You had Foot Action. You had Foot Locker. And then you had another store. I can't remember the name of it. But it was just like the place to be because so you got all the new releases there, but also it was just like it was just cool to be there. So you like put your fit on and you get to walk around and be cute and try to meet up with your little guy friends. So it was very nostalgic to just go there. But that's usually where I would get most of my shoes because back then online wasn't a thing. You had to actually go to the store to get a shoe. So probably
Yep.
Eastland Mall. Yeah.
Okay. We had a mall like that in Cleveland. It's called Randall Mall. When it was built in the 70s, it was like the biggest mall in the world, and then it was the biggest mall in
Mhm.
America
Mhm.
until Malls of America. But it closed in 2008. It was our sneaker mall, so I feel
Yep.
like us in Cleveland, we never recovered from that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah. And where Eastland was the biggest mall. It was three levels. Like it had a ice skating rink in it. It had the two floor. Like it was a big mall, and then they like tore it down, and I forgot what they're doing with it now. But it was also like the black mall. It's
yeah,
like I said, it
same
was
thing with
the
Randall.
hip place
It
to
was
be.
like that.
Yeah, it was the black mall. So it was like that's where you go
But
to
you mean,
get your fit up. Yes.
so oh, they're ashy. I need to clean these a bit, but it's a Zoom Flight 96 is from that same
Yes.
season as the
Yes. I've been looking at them.
Turbulence. I mean, I mean, they've
They
retroed
still in
these, but
good
never with the
condition.
right bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta clean up this plastic, but I'm trying to think. I think I might have
Yes.
that same Nike card. I may not anymore. I used to have it in here. Um, but yeah, I just had to. It's one
I
of the
love
few.
it.
Huh?
I said I love it. Don't that do something to you when you see them old boxes, like an old Nike box or old Jordan box? It just does something to me. I don't know when I
Oh
see
no.
them, I'm just like, oh yes, it's so
Yeah, I'm the same.
nostalgic.
I feel the same way about these boxes. You
Yes,
know what I
I'm
mean?
about to say I got a couple. I love that box. When I got a
Yeah.
pair in the other day, and he was looking at me, Jordan had them eyes looking at me. I was like, yes, I love it. I love
That's
it.
what it's about. That's what it's about. Now, where's your favorite place to get sneakers currently? Everybody always gives me like, are you serious?
Because you know how hard it is. Honestly, right now I rotate between eBay, Poshmark, Macari, StockX, Go. I just kind of float between those. Those are like my major ones I kind of float on, depending on what I'm looking for. To be honest, a lot of what I've been doing is reachbacks. So I've been on a lot of eBay and Macari and Poshmark because I've been trying to get old stuff that I had, and I wrecked back in the day. That's kind of been my focus because it's so frustrating and hard to get new stuff. that's that's kind of, but those are my main sites that I kind of just rotate for the most part.
Yeah, we're like the same person, man. I mean, I'm waiting on and Poshmark currently. Macari is a go-to.
Oh
Another
yeah.
site like that, Depop, really
Yep.
good. It's more hype beasty, but
Yeah,
um,
I've been on it.
um, list, but for vintage shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
only
I
for
was
the
gonna say
vintage.
list more so I think for like clothes, more like vintage clothes than like I haven't really seen many good sneakers on there. Like, I don't know. Maybe I haven't really looked lately either, so I don't really know.
Well, for me, because again, I mean, you're one of only two North Carolinian sneakerheads that I've actually got to physically meet in person. You know what I
Like
mean?
true North Carolina, yeah, because it's not many of us. Most people
Yeah,
are
it's just
moving here.
yeah, yeah. Um, but like I've been looking at a lot of like vintage Converse because I'm not
Hmm.
at the store. I mean, I'm the visual manager there, so I'm there, but I'm not like the other managers. I'm only there maybe 30 hours a week, so it's
Oh,
just kind
okay,
of.
okay.
But I try to find vintage stuff because I love Chucks. I have a
Hmm.
lot of Chucks. I can't. I'm more like an '80s Converse, like the weapons,
Yeah,
Prolep,
yeah,
the ERX
yeah,
shoes you bought. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
waiting on
yeah.
now because we'll have random shit like heat come in and it'll be your size, but in my size it'll be like just random old Chucks. You know what I mean? Just
Well now, well now you know. Next time you get something in, you know my size now. So next time you get something in around that range, just hit me up like, hey, because I'll hop in the truck and they've been
yeah.
only 24 minutes away from
So
from door to
you're
outlet. That's sad.
you're you're a five.
It's it's weird because it goes between a 5 and a 6.
Okay.
Those ERXs I got the other day were a 5 and they fit really good. It just depends on the cut of the shoe because my foot is really narrow. So and I think my foot shrunk a little bit too. So it kind of ranges. It depends on the cut of the shoe.
Yeah. And you came at the perfect time because right now we don't even have a footwear set. It's
Oh
just the clearance is
wow.
just what it is. It's not off. So I even been kind
Wow.
of suffering. Like, we just got some raw shit in, but it's all like size 13, so it's too big for me. I'm, you know,
Yeah.
uh 10 and a half through 12. That's kind of where I'm at, depending on
Gotcha.
how the shoe
Gotcha.
fit.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But yeah, but Macari and Poshmark have definitely been good to me during
Oh yeah.
the
They are amazing. And the thing that I love about both of those, I feel like people don't know what they have. So the deals that you get, you're like, you're selling that for what? You're like, just hurry up and buy. Like I bought some stuff and I'd be scared they're gonna cancel it. Cause I'm like, was that a mistake? Like, did they mean to put that price? I'm like, are
like
they gonna cancel this when they realize I bought it at this price? Because I'm like, you just clearly did not know what you had. Like, I think the best cop I got was on, I think it was Poshmark, and I got the Air Raid Jungles for $17.
yep,
$17. OG
yeah.
box. I think
Um
she wore them once.
oof. You
Yeah, I
see,
think.
that's that's a good one.
$17. And as you
I
can
got
see, pristine condition. So I was like, yeah, I tell people all the time, you just gotta take your time and look, on Poshmark and Mercari, and most people don't have the patience to look. I think that's why people probably don't really go on there as much, but you just gotta sit there and scroll.
online thrifting, man. I'm gonna show
Yeah,
you what
pretty
I
much.
want tops. I'll be right there.
Okay. Hey everybody. I see my peoples in here. Saw my mom and my brother. X, me, everybody, keys to your soul. JJ, I see all of y'all. Hey everybody.
All right. Now, one thing I do as well, I look for people's Nike IDs that aren't too personal. You know what I
Got
mean?
you. Got you.
You know, sometimes it'll be, damn, I didn't even know they put them on ID. I don't know where I was at. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right, right.
uh, I wasn't able to find an ID, but I found these uh,
Oh, nice.
PSNYs, and this is actually a sale sample, so it's not even like the regular shoe.
Oh, yes, I love samples.
But they were $40. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Box and
It,
everything. It had the box too?
it didn't have the
Oh,
box, but
okay.
since it's a sale sample, it just came in a, you know how they do it, where it'll just be a blank Nike
Cut.
box.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah. Still, $40?
but yeah, it's I because I had the gray ones, but those olive green ones, I always regretted not getting the Chris Paul 12s because I was a store manager
Mm-hmm.
for one of the Hibbett when they came out. My wife has them now, but I was like, dang, I should have got those. But I feel like these are even better than that. So,
Oh yeah, I like
you
those
know,
because they're different. I like different.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, we're definitely in agreement. If y'all don't know, go on some of these sites. It doesn't just StockX. It's not just Go.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? The only thing that sucks about
Mm,
Mercari Poshmark is if you sell, you have to wait for the people to get your item, and they have to
yeah.
rate before you can get paid. That's the only
Before you
downside.
can get paid. Yeah, yeah. And I try to do really good about it. As soon as I get it in, I go ahead and be like, yep, got it, rate them. Because I already know. I'm like, I don't want to be holding up your money.
Yeah,
And give them good rating. And I find too that the sellers are really cool on a lot of those. Like they be sending you thank you notes and throwing in extra stuff. Like I've got a mug with one. I got a handwritten note and she wrapped it in a book. Like they be they be really wanting them 5-star ratings. I'm like, okay.
yeah, man. Now, since we're both into sports, because my wife, she gets me. I've told her, I'm like, it would be so much easier if I was just into Jordans, because it would just be
Mm,
being into everything. It would be so much easier if I was just like, yeah, I just wear Jordans. And I know dudes like that. I'm sure people like that.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Plenty of people like that.
Or you know, but with us both being in sports, I think you'll get me when I say it's certain shoes I would have or I have that I wouldn't have if I wasn't into sports, especially basketball.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
definitely.
like I wouldn't own Curry's if I didn't love Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to ask you, what influences your sneaker purchasing habits right now? Is it nostalgia? Is it a love of sports? Is it both? Is it something else? What'll get you to pull the trigger on a shoe?
I think mainly a lot of it is nostalgia. Cause like I said, right now I'm on this reach back kick, um, where I'm going for all of the old stuff, all the hoop shoes, all the old Jordans. I'm working on something right now where kind of putting together a project that I'll kind of show y'all of a collection that I'm trying to do. Cause I kind of just challenge myself with different things on my collection. So it just depends. But right now I think I'm on a nostalgia kick. Because like I said, seeing those old boxes brings back memories and ooh, this shoe and remembering the old commercial and remembering like I'm kind of on that kick, but also too it's just what catches my eye, what I like, not necessarily what's hype, but what I like. Like what's the colors? Are the colors drawing me? Do I like the silhouette of the shoe? That causes a lot of me to buy too. Because sometimes I'm just scrolling, I'm like, oh, that's a cute shoe. Oh, quick, let me get that. So, but a lot of it is nostalgia just because of what I'm doing with my collection, just challenging myself. Like last year, I was on like a Black History Month kick. So it was finding every Black History Month edition I could possibly find. That was my thing last year. So it's just, I find different ways to just expand my collection. It's just fun. I like to just do something different. I challenge myself. but definitely nostalgia, and then also just off brands. And when I say off brands, not to say that they're not good brands, but just not Jordan, Nike, Adidas. So I've been pushing more. I ordered another pair of Sauconys the other day, getting more New Balances. I wore some Pumas yesterday. So just diversity and just expanding my collection, like I said, in different ways. It's fun to me, really.
I appreciate you saying Saucony and not Saucony. You know, we love to say.
Well, I like I said, I work in the stores, so But
Yeah.
the Adidas though, the Adidas thing. Okay, so do you say Adidas or you say Adidas? And I think
I,
I say Adidas because I'm country, but I
no,
think it's supposed to be.
I've always said
I,
Adidas.
okay, because I think it's supposed to be like people that like are legit, it's Adidas. You're supposed to say Adidas, and I'm like Adidas. Okay,
Well,
yeah,
that back in the day when everybody called NYC Aniche. Everybody thought it was Aniche, and it was always
yeah,
NYC. So you know what I mean. It's just one of them things. I've heard people call them Adidas, but
yeah, yeah. I've heard people say that's the correct pronunciation of it, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
well, it's
Yeah,
just like back in the day, we didn't say Nike. We used to say Nike. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
back
yeah,
late '80s. So
yeah,
my
yeah.
one friend still says Nike. He knows it's Nike, but
I've
whatever.
heard that too. I've heard that as well too. Give me a
It's
pair of
just
them
like,
Nikes.
yeah, if you ride a bike, it's a bike. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
not a bike. Why is
yeah.
it, whatever. Well, what's the biggest change or adjustment you've had to make with sneakers post pandemic?
Man, just getting them. I was just talking to my nephew earlier today, and I don't know why I did it. I set myself up for failure, but I was like, I'm gonna try. I tried to get the Yeezys, the 350s, the zebras, and
Ah,
they did a restock on them. So I was like, all right, let me see what this is like because I've never really tried to get a shoe on release. Honestly, I don't even waste my time trying. I haven't. Like I've entered a couple of raffles on like sneakers app every once in a while, but I don't really try. But I think when I was talking to him, I was like, I don't understand the game anymore of how to get shoes, like of entering raffles, the drawings, and I'm like, how are they selling out at 10:01 or 9:01 if it just opened up? Like, how is it going already? So that's been weird for me trying to figure it out. But like I said, it doesn't really affect me too much because I'm not really trying to get a lot of the new releases. Like I told you, my kick right now is nostalgia. So I don't even try to work myself up with trying to get, a new release. If I get it, cool. A lot of times I just double back later. Like I'll wait a year or two before I get something. Like it'll be hot and I'll let it die down and let people wear theirs and forget about it. And then I'll go back and get it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I remember those. I forgot about those. But now their pair is busted or they don't know where it's at or they didn't gave it away. And now I got mine for way cheaper because resale, I'm too cheap to be paying resale for all these shoes. I can't. Like, I like shoes. I like having a lot, but there's no way I could have the amount of shoes I had if I was paying retail or resale for every shoe. Like, I can't.
this is frightening. It's like you're saying what I say today. This is crazy.
And the weird thing is we both have been in the store, so we know how it works. We know the whole, and it's just I can't. I just whether I got the money or not, I just mm-mm.
It's to the point where people look at me so foul and be like, no, nigga, fuck you, or whatever. Excuse my. If I'll be talking about shoes with somebody that I've known for a while, I'm like, nigga, I don't even want to pay box. You know what I'm saying?
Hello,
I don't even want to pay box.
hello,
So
hello.
you think I'm gonna pay more? Especially for some
Mm-mm.
like the shit with the dunks, man. Like,
Oh God.
I mean, that could be a
Mm.
whole other podcast because I have a lot
Mm.
of dunks, but they're all old. I only have
I
one.
about to say I got some old dunks, but
Yeah,
now I
they're
just
all.
lied. I did just buy two pair, actually just yesterday. But it was freaky because Nike still had a pair of those Knicks dunks. They had them in grade school just sitting. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna buy them just to whether I wear them or not. At this point, if I tell people if you can get a dunk at retail or lower, grab it because it's obviously gonna go up. People are on it, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And then I got the low, those tropical twists, the grade school one that has the two different. It's like that pink and that bluish mint. I just got it because it's different.
Yeah, yeah,
But you know,
those is
yeah,
nice.
those are cute. I just like, oh, these are cute. It's just different, not because it's a dunk per se, but because it's just cute.
Yeah, I remember being because I got a couple of dunks like 16, 17 at Burlington because that's how
Yeah,
they were. And I remember thinking and saying, you know, Jordan ones are hot. Dunks are essentially almost the
the
same. I wonder why.
same shoe.
And then it took a couple of years because it's 17. I don't really feel like dunks really jumped off for real until last year again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because in 19, like I was able to get the De La Soul highs for like 180,
Oh,
but
pause, pause. That shoe, I want it. I want the high and the low. I am on the hunt. I refuse to pay resale, but that shoe, I want so bad in my collection. I want both, and I'm on the hunt,
all right,
but I just can't pay them prices. Them prices are ridiculous.
yeah, I
Ooh,
mean that was my dunk grail for a long time.
ooh, that's a beautiful shoe.
I got an assist from one of my really good friends, and he was like, it's a pair 180 on eBay right now. I don't really have no hit.
Damn.
They just don't. They didn't have the original box, but it's a lot of.
Still.
I was like, all right, the midsole and the swoosh are the same green, so I know it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
in Cleveland we ain't really had no SB accounts, so they just didn't come out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Got you. Got you.
and now there's one, but it's like the evil empire because it's the only SB account, so they do whatever. You got to
They
shop
be monopolized. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
decks and trucks. I'm not a skater, so I'm not gonna buy any of that.
Mm-mm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but for
It
me,
sucks, but go ahead.
no, you got it.
I was going to say I think the reason why that happened is because the Jordan ones got so popular and the price kept going up on them. And like you said, because it looks essentially the same, people
Mm-hmm.
started flocking then that way. Oh, I can't get this Jordan 1, but I can get this dunk. And they caught on to that kind of, oh, let me go over here since I can't get this one because it essentially looks the same. And I think
Yeah,
that's what causes that influx because Jordan 1s are just like, people are obsessed with Jordan 1s. And I'm like, I have plenty of them. I love the shoe, but I'm not obsessed with them either. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm just not. I mean, I love the shoe. Like I said, I have probably about 10 pair of them or so. But I don't know. But I think that's what happened. That transition of we can't get these Jordan ones. And then, each year they be increasing that price just a little bit, like 150, 180, 200, 220. It just keep going up. So people said, all right, I'll just go to Dunks then.
the fact that dunks are $100 and Jordan ones are 170 is a crime. But I'm gonna save that for another convo. I love, but I'm a pre Jordan one hype Jordan one lover because it's kind of like I have a pile.
Ditto.
I had a sneaker battle I did a few days ago, so I have
Ditto.
a pile of shoes near my foot. But like, the mid hate is something I don't really get because it's like, yeah,
What is up with the mid hate? Why do people hate mids? Did I miss something? Because I was like, all of a sudden I started hearing the buzz of because I have a lot of mids and I kept hearing people say, oh, mids suck. And I was like, when did this happen? Like, what caused this mid hate? I don't understand.
well, like the shoe game posted a status I had put on Facebook, the shoegame.com, and I said in it, I'm like, if you were into Jordan ones before 2011, you don't really mind mids. And it's true. Like I get the historic, all right, it's the bread. It
Yeah,
was bad, it really
yeah, yeah.
wasn't, but this will get the same kind of love. Like it's a Jordan one. It's the same. It's slightly shorter. The leather might not be as
I
good,
about to
but
say it's what this much shorter. Like,
yeah, it's really now some of the colorways will be kind of wonky sometimes, but they aren't all bad. Like
yeah. But I was about to say
I
that's the thing I love about the mids though, because they like to do the funky colors with the mids. That's what attracts me to mids is because it's a funky colorway. Like I got some old mids when it was easy to get them. You can just go in the store and just grab some Jordan 1 mids. Like I think one pair I got was like in New York and it was just like a grade school mid and it was like I think $80 or something like that. And it was a cool color. So I was like, cool. But
this random old mid, just random.
oh my God, the mid I'm talking about. Hold on. The mid I'm talking about is very similar in colorway to that. Nice old box.
Yep. See you. Yes. See, that's what it's about.
So, and people, when I pull them out and I wear them, which I don't wear them that often, obviously, but they're just like, I'm like, it's a mid though. No, y'all hate mids. Don't give it no love. You know,
Yeah.
people like, oh, I thought you hate mids, but them hot though. I'm like, but you said you didn't like mids. That's a mid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's now the one thing I will say, because I'm short and my feet are too big for my body. I don't really rock with the lows. I'd rather wear a dunk
I was
low.
just about to ask that.
Low.
I was just about to ask
Yeah.
if you do lows.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like lows.
I have a few, but not for real.
I have I think I only have two lows, but I like low. I have nothing against lows at all. I just haven't found enough that I like, colorways that I like that were different enough. Like I don't want to get a low that's the same color as a high or a mid I already have. So like I think
No.
I have like the low that's the two different color shoes. I'm on this kick too where I like two different color shoes and mismatched shoes. I don't know what that's about, but it's like the highlighter colors, but it's two different colors. Like it's the flip flop. That
No,
low
I
I
got you.
love. And I got it at the outlet. So
I got you. Well, one thing I wanted to say before we move on, my biggest adjustment I've had to make, because it still be new stuff that I want. I'll emotionally detach myself from the shoe, so I won't be as upset if I don't get it.
you have
Because
to.
there have been a few dunks that I have. This has been a kind of a other than the reachbacks, and by the way, it's funny you call them that because I have a series I just started with my YouTube channel called Reachbacks, where I'm chronicling some of the shoes I'm. So we're the
Nice.
same, and
Nice.
but yeah, I have to mentally detach myself from the shoe. It's been a low year as far as Jordans. I've only bought two new release Jordans, but I'll be disappointed if I don't get these Lightning 4s. I'm not gonna lie, but I never had them back in the day.
I about to say I never got any. I never got them. I don't know. I think because when they released, I was working there. They still was just probably too expensive for me. I feel like because you got to think I
Yeah,
was poured in. So
well,
and so now that's why I'm like hard on these reachbacks. I'm like a lot of these shoes I couldn't afford back then either. So it's like now I can afford it or at least try to get it. I'm like okay, yeah, I'm definitely getting this.
yeah, like when the Thunder and the Lightning came out in '06, the Thunder came out with a leather jacket and it was 500 for the jacket and the shoes.
Whew.
The Lightning was 250 and it came with like a special windbreaker or
Mhm.
something in the shoes, so they weren't like regular because they were just regular. 150
Yeah.
Jordan costed
Mm,
back then. Or
yeah.
I
Yeah.
would, you know what I mean. So, but I hope that it's not too tough to get them. I mean, I've recently discovered social status, so I'm hoping
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because the one of the spots I used to work at back home is called Exhibition. It's sort of like social status of Cleveland. They're the only tier
I've heard
zero.
of exhibition. I've heard of that
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
Yeah.
they some of their stores are called Next Urban Gear and Music, but it's mainly Exhibition now, and they're the only place in Cleveland where you can get the shit. Now I worked for them from 12 to 17, so I was there for a little while. It was kind of in between my Foot Locker stints, and I worked for Hibbett after, but um, yeah, I mean, I feel like you and I have a different perspective than a lot of people working in these stores because you can come in and just see like, yeah, those ain't gonna do nothing, or those will be
Mhm.
big.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sometimes you get like the Master 12 fooled me. I was like pulling up and people was lined up in front of the store. I'm like, the fuck, you
What
know what I
for
mean?
what?
Like it's
Yeah.
black shoe, but that shoe
Yeah.
taught me that more than anything, and I should have knew better already. But if it's a basic colorway or it's easy to wear, the hood is gonna fuck with it if it's black,
Oh yeah. Big time.
you
Big
know.
time. Big
And it's a
time.
12. Oh,
And I think that's why I come up a lot on shoes because I've always been weird and I don't like the normal colorways that most people like. So like I try not like with Jordan, there's always gonna be your black and red colorways, right? Always. Like every number is gonna have that because it has to, because of Chicago, right? But
mm-hmm.
I try not to I hate having so many of the same color shoe. But like I said, the funky color that don't nobody want, that's the one I'm like, oh yeah, let me get that. Like even when I worked in the store, like a lot of the new releases, every once in a while I'll write my name on the box and put it to the side. But for the most part, like, okay, y'all can have it. And then I go and get the other colorway that's on sale on top of my discount because ain't nobody want it. And then when I wear it, they be like, where you get them? I'm like, they're right here. Like y'all just ain't pay no attention to them. I got them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I busted that move a couple times.
I mean,
I'm guilty of, like, I want all the Bulls colorways. Like there's certain black and red Jordans I like more than others. Like everybody loves the black and red 12, the flu game or whatever, but that's like my least favorite black and red Jordan.
me
Um,
too. I'm glad you said it because I wasn't gonna say it, but you know,
yeah,
I don't own any flu games, and I probably never will. I mean, it's a staple. It is a classic. It's a grail for a lot of people. It's just not mine.
yeah. Like the only 12 that I really enjoy wearing is the taxi. You know, it's the
Oh
one that I,
yeah.
because it's still a connection to Michael Jordan. Still a love for him, and I'm like, well, any of the white and black shoes are the ones that he wore the most. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
him and
Yeah.
that, if I watch a highlight of 95, 96, he don't have on the Concords until the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's the same thing with Penny. Like, it's certain pairs that just will bring back that nostalgia for me. So
Yeah, it's all about nostalgia. Like I was trying to explain that to people. I'm like, if you just depend on how long you've been in the shoe game. You know, I do realize what the pandemic did do was bring a lot of new sneakerheads into the game, which is a little bit frustrating for people that have been doing it for 20 plus years because now
yeah,
if it's a shoe that we actually want, we can't get because everybody else then figured it out. And these young kids know how to work the system and get these different bots and head starts. And I don't know nothing about none of that. So it's
and see,
crazy.
you also have what I call the sneaker vortex. What the sneaker vortex is it's where I call where shoes go, where they'll come out. Some people will know about them, but they'll kind of sit around and then they'll just disappear, and it'll be like they never came out. Mainly happens with train
Mm-hmm.
runners. It's a couple of basketball shoes in it. Jordans never really make it to the vortex because if you have the money, you can get any Jordan. But
Right, right.
like for me right now, I'm looking for the Fab Five Barkley, the black and gray one. It's my pair from 2001.
Ooh,
Now
nice.
they came out in '06 and they came out in 13. Um, but I can't find a pair in good shape for less than $250 in my
Yeah, I was
size.
about to see it. I was just about to ask that. I was about to say, well,
Yeah,
what you gonna pay for it? Because it's not
like
gonna be cheap in great condition.
yeah, the hood colors, even the original white one, like we had it at Hibbett. Like you can get those for whatever, but that black and
Mm-hmm.
gray Barkley, like I wouldn't be willing to pay more than 150 for it, man. Like it just
Yeah.
because I'm only gonna wear it once or twice. You know what I mean? So a
Right,
reach back,
right, right.
that that's like great. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
pushing myself to my YouTube content, like how you was talking about pushing yourself with your collections, because
Yeah,
I've only
yeah.
episodes, but I'm gonna try to shoot some more.
I'm gonna definitely check that out. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, let me ask you this: with the because you've been in the sneaker game long enough and you worked in the store, so you can kind of understand this a little bit better. Do you like and it's hard now because some of the OG ones you can't really wear anymore and they're gonna crumble or fall apart. But do you like the newer releases or you like the older releases? Like so, you know, with like the Cool Grays releasing 15 million times or with the Karma, all these different re-releases, like this is my personal opinion and I want to know yours. I feel like each time they re-release it, the shoe gets crappier and crappier. Like just the quality of the shoe. For most of them, I can't. A lot of the ones I've compared, I'm just like, I'd rather have the OG pair. Because there are some shoes I have the OG pair of, and I'll go into the store to just compare like the OG pair with this new release, or it's just I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it depends. Sometimes there's only really been a few times where I could say the retro felt better than the OG. Like when they first retroed the 12 in 2003, the Zoom Air, Zoom Air was a new thing. You know,
Yeah.
12 was out. They're still calling it Tinsel Air. Um, So when they retroed, the Zoom Air felt better on my foot, but the leather was worse, and the little things, the little eyelets were cool.
Exactly.
It just
Yeah, I was
wasn't.
about to say the leather, it was more comfortable because I agree with you on that. It was a little bit more cushy because OG 12s are like walking, they're like church shoes. I call them church shoes because it was like that hard bottom of 12s. Like, that's what it reminded me of. Like, and even sometimes, depending on what kind of floor you was walking on, it sounded like you had on church shoes. I'm
Hard.
like, maybe it's just me. Yeah, the OG 12s were like hard bottoms. I mean, they just
Yeah.
were. But
But like usually, like all right, whenever a Jordan with red comes out, I know the red is gonna be different. You know what I mean? Like I know they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
already a given, but they'll tweak things sometimes unnecessarily, and it makes me wonder why they did it. Like the Flint Gray 7 looked nothing like the pair from 2006. The gray was all dark. You couldn't see the purple. They ruined that shoe. And people are like, oh, the 787 because it looks like the True Flight. And I'm like, I can see that,
no.
but it's because I always feel like I would say the True Flight, I feel like that was a prototype 7 and they just made it into a shoe, just to kind of throw out
Yeah,
there.
probably. Yeah, I think so.
But it's because they fucked up the colorways and they don't, like if the black and red 7 came back, everybody calls the Raptor now, people would buy it. The Bordeaux would
Oh
sell.
yeah, yeah,
The Olympic would
yeah,
sell. Even the Cardinal, like the Cardinal is one of my least favorite OG colorways of any Jordan. I still have it, but to me the 7 isn't the same without the zigzags on the tongue. It's kind of
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
because of the True Flight. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with it, bro.
I don't think so. I'm like, why? I don't know. I feel like sevens don't get that much love unless
18,
it's a hype 7.
yeah,
Yeah,
8,
eights don't either.
you know,
Unless it has to be like one of the hype ones, but just in general, I just feel like they don't get any love, and I have both, obviously.
hey,
Just because people don't like it, I'm like, okay.
yeah, that was when Jordan was Jordan. I mean, he was him all the time, but I feel like everybody just focuses on 9 through 13, 1 through 8, or I'm sorry, 1 through 6. you know,
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek on
well,
your show when I'm working on.
yeah,
Huh?
gotta say,
I am working on because, like you said, nobody usually goes past 14.
mm-hmm.
A hunt that I'm on now is I'm going all the way up to like 21, 22. So I am slowly getting there. I'm collecting bit by bit. I haven't revealed any of the ones I have yet because, like I said, I'm kind of putting it on ice. Yes. And when we was talking about the lightnings, I want the lightning 17s. I love those, but trying to find those that's not $500. Good luck with that. But
Only
yeah,
OG I don't have is the Lightning.
oh, that's so dope. I've been eyeballing them. I check on a regular, and I'm just like, maybe one day, maybe.
But
But yeah,
I'm
it's
bigger, higher Jordan numbers.
I love it because people don't like it. It makes me want it even more. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. That's just me being weird. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah. Like I said, I'm working on it. I'm almost there. I'm only a couple away from getting where I want to get to. So I'll
yeah,
definitely be, revealing once I get them.
yeah. Well, what I was saying earlier is you got to. I forgot to take out the Jordan 2. Nobody, real old dudes and real sneakerheads are the only people that fuck with the 2. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
but now everybody gonna jump on the bandwagon because excuse my French, for anybody that loves those off-white twos that are coming out, they are hideous. I apologize if you think they are fire, only because they off-white. 9 times out of 10, that's the only reason why you like them because they off-white. But I feel like that is gonna now create some buzz around the twos just because of that. And I hate that because I like twos and I just been grabbing twos when I see them. Like I just bought another pair of twos actually the other day. So I like them. I got the Radio Raheem twos. Like
Seen that.
I love twos. I love twos, but they don't get any love. But I'm good with it. I hope they still keep sleeping on it because then it's easier for me to get.
Yeah. This is how much I love Jordan 2s. For my one pair, I actually tried to mimic and draw the box that the original pair. Hey,
I love it. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah, I love like,
Oh
I,
my God, that just took me all the way out. That just made my entire day right there.
I don't know why they won't give us a box, and they could make it. Like, fuck it, I just draw it myself.
I love it. I can't. That just made my whole day right there. I love it.
Oh man. Well,
That is the best thing I saw. Oh my
uh,
God.
I appreciate that. Now, I got to ask you some basic sneaker questions. Some old,
Okay.
ask you what's your favorite color or whatever. But what's your favorite shoe right now? That's the shoe you feeling the most right now?
Sheesh.
It's a lot, I know.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I have to say, like I said, I've been on the kick. Like those fire Sauconys that I had on the other day, I really like those, and they're really slept on. And a lot of people were commenting like, "Wait a minute, where did you get those from? What are those? What?" So probably those, and then I got another pair of the Sauconys that are really cool. So probably none of my hype, nothing name brand hype probably right now is like my favorite. I think it's just the little odd little sneakers I've been finding. Like I got some Candyland Reeboks that I haven't got to wear yet, which I think are really cool. So it's
Okay.
just like that's the kind of stuff that's been really catching my eye and been fun to me. Like I said, don't get it twisted. I do have the regular,
We know.
stuff that is
No.
popular that everybody got and that stuff, but that hasn't been like exciting me as much as like the little random shoes I've been finding like with different themes, like yeah, like I got some Nintendo Pumas that I thought were really cool because it's nostalgic. Like I said, I'm on my nostalgia kick, so I saw the Nintendo and I was like, oh my God, Nintendo. I'm like, Super Mario Brother, yes. So
Yeah.
those are like the stuff that I'm on right now. I think that are probably my favorites right now. I can't really say there's like one particular shoe that's just like that's my jam. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Now, what's your, I know you got the flight turbulence, but what's the holy grail of yours that you don't have that you still are trying to get a hold of? That one shoe that just eludes you, or is there one?
There's so many. I don't even know if there's one. Like I said, I do want the Jason Kids. I do want, and we're talking about like old reach backs, or we're talking about like just anything across the board.
Either. It could be
Let's
all
see, reach backs. Reach backs, I would have to probably say, like I said, the getting a pair of the Jason Kids. I'm just on the hunt now just to find the condition and the price that I want. You know how that is. And that sometimes that takes a while of just scrolling and searching. Um, the De La Souls, I am gonna get those. I want those really bad. I'm gonna get them. Another one that's really
Yeah, you're
weird, and
gonna get them.
yeah, I don't know if people know about it, but I've been on the hunt for a while for them. But the Jordan 4 Pearls, the iridescent, the 30th anniversary ones, I want those really bad. But they're just really hard to find. They never re-released. I think they released in I forgot what the year is. Then they released.
Pearl.
Why do I want to say 2012? Something like that. They're old. They're old. It's definitely been about 9, 10 years ago. But it's like iridescent all over. It's a four, and it's like I said, it's that rare. That's probably why I want it because it was that rare. It released, and most people I think slept on it. But it's the pearl. It's the Jordan 4 Pearl. It's like all iridescent. The whole four is iridescent. It's really dope.
Is this great?
That's one. I Was it a grade school only release? I don't think it was. Hold on, let me see. I
Iridescent.
don't think it was. Yeah. And like I said, that's how rare it is. That's probably why I want it. Because I remember when it came out, but for some reason I didn't get them. And I don't know why I didn't get them, but
There wasn't no laser on them. They were just iridescent.
they're all iridescent. The entire shoe is iridescent. Yeah, it is
And
a
it's a
grade school
four.
exclusive. It's a grade school
Ah,
exclusive.
okay.
I
It's
don't know
all
if
some
you can
shit I
see
should
it
have.
good. Oh shoot, this light.
Iridescent.
I don't think it'll work. You can't see it. It's too much with the light, but whatever. You have to look it up when we get off. But the whole shoe is completely iridescent, and it's a 4. But it is a
Wow.
grade school, exclusive, which I can get that actually. But it goes up to a size like 9 or so, though. It goes up. It's one of those grade schools where they went up really high, where it's like 9Y. So it goes
Okay.
up. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of them where it
Good
goes
look.
up really high. So dudes with little feet could get them.
Yeah.
But that's probably Yeah, those, and then just finishing up my I need to get 21s and I think 20s. And I think that's the only ones I need right now. I think like I've been working.
Okay. I always regret not getting those red suede 21s because they go for so much money now, and I could have got them when they came out for retail because I got the white, black, and red,
Mhm.
but
Mhm. That's the ones I'm gonna probably end up getting is the white, black, and red ones because they're just easier to get.
mm-hmm.
But I do like the red and black ones better. The all red with the black. They just that suede. It looks better, but I'm probably gonna have to end up getting the white, black, and red ones.
Now, have you had them before?
Mm-mm. I never had any 21s.
I'm gonna tell you, it might be different since you're in grade school. The most annoying thing about it is the box. Like the box is really big, but it's hard to
Oh
stack.
wow.
Yeah, it kind of folds over,
Yeah.
not like straight
Well,
across.
I about to say, well, our grade school boxes be crap, so it's probably a totally different box. They give us whatever in grade school size.
I thought it was gonna fall on me. I was running. Have an avalanche. Oh man.
Shoe Jenga.
Yeah. Well, okay. What's a shoe? What's a shoe that you just don't fuck with that everybody that you cool with in the sneaker community loves?
Probably them Yeezys.
Everybody says,
I mean, and I get the hype, but to be honest, anything outside of a 350, I know there are Yeezy fans and y'all be rocking them. It's just not my style. I think they're hideous. Those wave runners are hideous. Those slides are hideous. Those clay thing, my opinion only. And you rock what you rock. I always tell people that it don't matter if I think it's ugly or not. If you think it's dope, cool. That's you. Rock it. That's your style. But for me personally, I'm not a Yeezy person. I'm just not. And for the price that you pay, I'm gonna like it if I'm gonna pay that much money for it. I gotta like the shoe. If I'm paying 200 plus, I'm gonna like the shoe. I'm not just gonna get it because of the name and because it's cool to have it. Nah.
mm-hmm. At the rumors place I was telling you about earlier, I found a pair of 700s for $18 earlier.
Are you
And
serious?
the mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God. Hopefully
mean,
you
I
grabbed
couldn't
them.
believe it. Oh yeah,
Now I'm about
they're
to say now if I
they're out
find that
there
price,
now.
well, I'm gonna get it. I'm about to say if I find that price, I'm definitely gonna get it. If I get yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it that price. I'm just not gonna pay them ridiculous prices retail for them shoes. Mm-mm. No.
Now my Nike, I had to buy, but all but one of my Adidas Yeezys were thrifted or something like that. Like I haven't really paid,
Mm-hmm.
any money for real for them. And the one pair that was retail, my wife bought for me for Christmas like years ago. So
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
I didn't even know I was, So
yeah.
I'm the same. I
And I
have.
hear they're so comfortable. I hear they're really comfortable, and I know people love them, and it is the craze in the sneaker community. And like I said, I more power. If you got the money to just buy them like that, more power to you. I just don't. Like the only pair of Yeezys, like I said, I tried to get the zebras, the 350s. That's the only ones I really like that I would actually have in my collection. And the fact that they will not go down on resale in that particular colorway, it just won't go down. All the other ones are dropping down a little bit. That colorway is not. So I was like, well, I'll just try retail, since this is probably the cheapest I'm ever gonna get it, which is still a lot for me to pay for a shoe. 220 is a lot for me because I am super cheap.
Because
So
again,
I was like,
it's hard not to think of, even if you got your bills and your actual adult expenses. Aside from that, I'm thinking, damn, man, I could have got like 4 or 5 shoes with that 220, or you know what I mean,
that's
like
how I think. Yes, that's
or
how I am. Yeah, yeah.
really, because
That's what. Yeah, that's true.
one of the shoes I'm waiting on is a ERX 260. It's the high top. It's the soloist pair where it's got like zippers and stuff on it. It's all black, and I usually don't do it
Mm.
for some reason because we had a pair of them in like a kid's six at one point at the store, and it would be like torture looking at them. Like, I wish that was my size. Like,
Mm. I probably would have picked them up.
Again, now
So
that I
it came in.
just, DM, like, look, we got these.
Yeah, just hit me up and be like, you need to come through, and I'll be right there. Because like I said, it's sad that I know from my house to the outlet it is exactly 24 minutes.
Man,
That's how
that's how
much I go to the Nike outlet.
I, with if I'm going east, I usually don't go all the way to Raleigh because it's such a commitment driving there. But I'll go to South. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm at South
yeah,
Point a lot.
yeah.
26 minutes away. It's 26 minutes away, but it's a Plato's Closet there. The mall is there. I'm a Target person, so
I love
you
Target.
know,
Yeah.
Walmart. I'm like, man, I pay a couple extra dollars and I have to wait or deal with that fuck shit. You know what I mean? I just go to Target.
Yep,
So,
that's how I am.
like,
Yep.
well, how does your family feel about your relationship with sneakers?
They just know what it is. Like it's been so long. Like I said, my mom is the OG sneaker person. My mom had racks on racks of shoes. So growing up, like I've seen a lot of shoes. Like she's more into heels and stuff because she works in corporate, but she just loves shoes. And to be honest, her loving shoes kind of passed down to like me and my brother. So we both love shoes a lot, but I just kind of took it to a whole nother level because me working at Champs just like leveled me up. It was like, oh, I don't need you to pay for these shoes on my mama. I get a discount and I can use my check and da 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 da. So it just kind of like leveled me up, and they just kind of they know what it is. It's just I've been doing it for so long. Like that was my birthday. Like I said, that was my birthday gift. I wanted a pair of shoes, so it's just they kind of go with it. I'm curious to know how you and your wife do it because my ex that I used to live with, he wasn't a sneakerhead, so it was nice. So I had all the space. But I'm always curious, like with couples that are both, sneakerheads, like how does that work? Where do you put like that's a lot. Like I have a whole room to myself, so I can only imagine if I got with somebody else that was a sneakerhead, which I think it would be fun because they understand and y'all share a passion. But I'm just thinking space wise. I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. My wife has been into shoes, but it's been something that's been curated and grown at the same time. So it wasn't always quite the way it is. Because
Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
I've always been into this. Like any apartment I've ever had or place I've rented, I've always had to have an extra room for my shoes. Um,
Hello, me too.
but you know, really for the last, I'll say since 14, you know, with her ascend into the corporate world and her being able to do more things, and just kind of her learning, from me, it has been an issue sometimes of like the extra room we have in this house is for my shoes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I, so, I don't. I'll just say we have a walk-in closet where that we share. We each have a side of it. Like all of my Air Maxes and trainers are up there. This
Hmm.
room, the closet of the extra room now, this is just Jordans in here, and in there is just basketball, and then in the garage is everything else. But it's a challenge, and then all of her shoes are, she has another closet, so it's craziness.
Yeah. I
It's
couldn't
crazy,
imagine. I'm just like, woo. I just know how
but
bad I am, and I'm just like, woo.
it's tough because since she's been in it a while, but not as long as me, she has more of a disdain for resellers, and I have a disdain for them too. But I'm still friends with a lot of people that do it, so I can't be posting stuff like, man, fuck all these reselling niggas selling
Yeah.
dunks
Yeah.
$300. Some of those is
Yeah.
my, but it's just a matter of kind of relaying the message because I'm not saying that all of y'all are like that, but you ladies can be emotional at times. You know what I'm saying? So take that out with sneakers because you may not get it. Like I
Yeah.
detach.
Yeah.
The only
You
sneaker
know
this
what
year.
I do?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was, you know what I do to detach is like it, which is probably really bad, and I've heard other people that like like to buy shoes say the same thing. If I don't get it, I go buy something else. So it's almost like, oh, I missed out on that, I didn't get it, but oh, got pick these up. So it's almost like you kind of put a little band-aid over it, to kind of make it a little bit better. I feel like a lot of us do
I'm guilty. Of that.
that.
Like I wanted these chucks that Rick Owens made, and
Mm-hmm.
with the new limited edition stuff, down a discount on that, but I didn't make it on Converse in time, and they sold out. So that's why I bought the
Mm,
Soloist Converse Star Players that Nike had put out in the Art of the Champion pack. So they're a reach back. I'm waiting to come. Two of them. So
nice.
it's because I couldn't get So
That's
I'm
how it
guilty of
works. That's how it works. That's honestly, I
that.
feel like most of us do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't
So
imagine. Like I said, I think it's kind of dope. Like, I think it's cute if you had a partner that was into sneakers and y'all can, like, do the little whole cute little outfit. Look at our sneakers. But I really be like, I don't know where in my house this would work because I take up all the space. Like, all the closets are mine. This whole room, a whole guest room,
mm,
is my shoe room. So I'm just like, I don't know. Like, with my ex, I don't think he realized how many shoes I had. Because when we first moved here together, he was like, we had a really nice, decent size walk-in closet, and he was like, "Oh, we can share this." I was like, "Oh, but no, we can't. You can have a guest closet. I need all of this." He was like, "But this is big." I was like, "You don't understand." And so then once I started putting stuff in, he was like, "Oh my God, you really are gonna take this whole closet?" I was like, "Yeah, I
yeah,
told you." He was like, "I didn't realize you had that many shoes." I'm like, "I told you." But yeah.
it's we've had to get really creative with some of the things we've had to do um, to make it work, because the other challenge is you know this area doesn't have basements. You know what I'm saying? I'm always used to
Mm,
storing some of my,
yeah, yeah.
so that's another wrinkle in it. You know what I mean? Because mine was like
You
man
gotta get
cave
a
slash.
yeah, you gotta get an older house to get a basement here. Like, if it's a newer build, I don't know what it is with the newer builds. They don't believe in basements no more. But growing up, I had a basement in my house. But it has to be like you
Yeah,
gotta get an old house to get a basement. But because these new builds, they don't believe in basements. I don't know why, but they just don't.
yeah, but yeah. All right. Well, you have a lot of shoes. A lot of shoes. I'm not gonna ask you how many because I don't even know how many pairs I have. But
I must say, I don't know.
what?
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I I know certain collections. I'm like I have this many of this. Certain things I know like how many LeBrons or how many Dunks or whatever. But
Mhm.
overall, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what direction do you see your collection going in the future?
It's still the same. I think it's gonna keep growing. Like right now, I'm already sitting here thinking, like, as I'm sitting in my room, I'm already like, I'm out of space and I've taken up a whole room in my house and I don't know what else to do. Like, my next thought is, I need a bigger house. Like, that's where it is because I don't see myself slowing down. I've been doing it for this long. It's just who I am. It's a part of my lifestyle. So
Part of you.
yeah, it is, and it's only gonna get. I think it's just gonna keep growing because I usually keep, I have shoes from high school still that I have behind me. So I don't really get. I mean, I'll sell some stuff every once in a while, but it's usually more of like my workout shoes and my like running shoes and trainers and stuff like that. Like, if I get a better color, like this is the same kind of colorway, but I like the shoe better, then I'll sell the other one because I keep my shoes in excellent condition. I've probably only worn them like maybe once or twice because of how many I have. It just cycles through that way. So, but it's definitely gonna keep growing. Like I said, it just depends on how I feel, and what's going on. Depends on where my collection goes, whether I'm on new releases or still on reachbacks or still on some type of theme. Like I said, it varies, but I'll definitely still be buying shoes. I know that.
Got you. Got you. So, are there any new releases that are on your radar at all in the coming months, or until the end of the year? We'll
No,
say because we're right in August. Nothing.
no,
That's
no. And it's sad because I look, obviously, I'm looking, but like I said, I was just telling my nephew is a coming up new sneakerhead. He works at Foot Locker now, so he's like following in Auntie's footsteps. But he's a baby, and I just be trying to put him up on game, and he's just such a hype beast, and I pick him all the time. I don't know if he's still in here. He wasn't here earlier, But I pick on him because he's such a hype beast. Like he only wants the shoe that everybody has that's on this and this, that. That's the only shoe he wants. So I'm trying to put him up on game a little bit, but I was just telling him, I said, to be honest, I have not seen a new release that I was just like, I actually want. Like there's some that I'm like, I may get, but I can't say there's one where I'm just like, I gotta have this. This is just, unless I missed something, I can't really say I've seen anything that was like, must have. I'm gonna do whatever I can do. I'm gonna get everybody to sign up for the raffle for me. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get it. I have not seen a new release like that in years, to be quite honest.
No, I got you. I got you. Before we wrap up, one other thing I wanted to say, you were asking me about how I felt about North Carolina. One thing it made me realize is, being from Cleveland, greater Cleveland, outlets aren't really a part of the sneaker culture there. It's a few malls. We have one Nike outlet. It's at Aurora Farms. It's not far away, but it's still maybe a 35-minute drive. And again, being in a city, 35 minutes is a long time. Here, it's nothing. It's like,
yeah, that's nothing. That's like every day just to go somewhere here. That's nothing.
Greensboro, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But here, living in Mebane, right next to a Nike outlet, Smithfield, of course, Concord, all that stuff in Tennessee. You got Seaverville and Pigeon Forge, of course, Memphis, and just being in the South, it's a different experience. Like, Concord Mills has probably been the best Nike experience I've had that wasn't going to a store like in Lenox in Atlanta or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Never lets me down. But the only frustrating thing about it is, like, we were there maybe 2 weeks ago, and we got there at 10 after 10, right before the store opened, and the reseller scum already had all the fucking.
Oh yeah. That's the bad thing. That's the bad thing about that Concord Mill. And I be talking to the employees when I go in there, and they tell me all the time, they be like, they be in here, and before anybody can really get, they've got everything. Like she said, the resellers be running through them at that one because they get some good stuff, but they just being ran through. That's the only bad thing about it.
And then, since even though I work for Converse, technically I'm a Nike employee. Some of the shit that you see at these places, it'll either be old shit where it's like, all right, these came out in 2018. Where the fuck have they been all this time where they're here now?
Right.
And then
sitting in the back.
yeah. And then on the other side, it'll be like when we went to Tennessee in April, I found these LeBron 18s that were my Minneapolis Lakers themed that didn't come out for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how the fuck are these here? When I was just at Concord Seller Scum, I had found the Sylvester and Tweety Space Jam LeBrons, like, they had just came out. They're here.
Yeah.
And they don't get returns. So how do you know what I mean? So that's been another I forgot to mention earlier. But before we wrap up, do you have any other questions for me?
Let me think. Because it sounds like you've worked in the stores for years in various different, stores and Foot Locker Inc. and Nike and da. Like, how has the culture changed working there? Because we know on this, like, just the purchasing side, because I haven't worked. I think I worked at Dick's when I first moved to Durham, so that's been like 7 years ago. And Dick's is not really, they get stuff sometimes, but yeah. But how has that changed? Like, how has that process of working in the sneaker industry changed over the years from, like, 90s, 2000 and on? Like, as far as like how y'all get stuff, can y'all get stuff? Because I know when I used to work there, it was easy because we could just literally write our name on the box and push it to the side. Like, this is Kiki's. Don't touch it. Yeah, I had my Sharpie, kept my Sharpie on my little younger. This is Kiki's, and I had my stack right beside my manager's desk. Don't touch my stuff. Like, that's how it used to be. Like, how is it now? Are they really strict or?
Well, the one thing I do want to say before I answer your question is, there are a lot of people who will try to discount your collection. It's like, oh, well, you got it because you got a discount or whatever. But it's like, you don't know the shit I had to go through to get this discount. You know what I'm saying? Like, the hype beat, the post Concord 11, there have been different turnstiles, different times where the game has changed, you know. But going back to early 2000s, just being able to write your name on the box. Sometimes it'd
Mhm.
be able to get it on payday. It'd be cool. You just get it on
Mhm.
payday. Better not be there
Yeah.
after, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to me, a couple of things changed the culture over time. I mean, I feel like with Jordans specifically, the fusions and the countdown packs changed the pricing because you know they're just kind of like, well, because you remember up until the playoff 8 was the last Jordan like this, the retro Christmas of 2007, where it was priced like how it was priced back in the day. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
starting with the countdown packs and the fusions, because they came out in '08 at the same time, they
Mhm.
they started making them more than the Jordans, and then all the Jordans started being 150. All right,
Yep.
150 is not bad, but then the price started creeping up even higher and higher.
Mhm.
But as far as strictness, answering your actual question, I started working for Nike slash Converse right after the stuff happened with the kid and his mother. So after
Okay.
that happened, and then everything changed to where it's like you gotta everybody who's on your discount, they gotta have their size. You know what I mean? That they're really
Wow. That's
so
strict.
more than it looks like they were before. Now, since I'm in the Converse branch, it's not as bad because I feel like Nike does well by Converse on a collab and exclusivity level, but as far as the regular stuff, they don't. I have to kind of watch what I say, but I don't really feel like Converse
Got
is
you. Got you.
as big a priority as if it was a Jordan store or you know what I
Sure.
mean.
Yeah.
LeBron had
I
a
could
store,
definitely see that. Yeah, I could
so
definitely see that. Yeah.
but I feel like the game changed because of Instagram and social media. Certain shoes, the Concords in 2011, the Galaxy foams, of course the Yeezy 2, all of those shoes kind of changed it. And it's made something that we looked at as pure, innocent, fun, and changed it into
Mhm.
insane money grab, uncomfortable. You upset because you couldn't get the shoe. Uh,
Yeah.
Adidas Yeezys changed first come, first serve. To me, they kind of ended first come, first serve. So it's a couple of different, um,
Yeah.
taking it from that to this. So I know I'm kind of
Because
on.
I was thinking about it too. I'm just like, well, with these new releases, like, okay, so when I worked there, it was commission. Like, I don't even know if they still do commission or not, but working for Foot Locker Inc. used to be commission, so I used to, I used to rack up. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking, I'm like, that sucks because now when a shoe comes out, ain't nobody got to come to the store to get it most of the time, and if they do, it's just a pickup. They already paid for it, and so nobody gets credit for that sale. And I'm just thinking back in the day, they're getting my Sharpie, writing my number on the box,
yeah.
getting my money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, how are the stores now? It's got to be boring working in the store now because like even on release day, I liked working on release day because I knew I was gonna upsell every person that came in there. You getting socks, you getting some shoe cleaner, you getting something. I'm getting you some t-shirts, you getting a 5 for 20. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm working it. So I'm gonna get my money. That's I made good money because I had commission. So I was able to do that. But I'm just like talking to my nephew and him, it sounds like it's boring. I'm like, what do y'all do? Like
Hey,
it doesn't seem
I,
like it's much fun.
this last time I worked for Foot Locker, 2019 and 2020, I didn't really do. I mean, I was a manager and I didn't really do anything. You know
See?
what I mean?
See?
It was like
See?
how where when I worked there in '07 at Champs of Tower City, it was the 1, 2, 3s, the socks,
Yep.
the insoles, and I was
And I
like,
was the queen of the insoles.
really? Yeah, I
I
used to.
was the queen of the insole. And they used to ask me all the time, Kiki, how in the world? And I learned a trick that one of my old managers taught me when I would go get a shoe because I was really fast in the stock room, which is why everybody pick on me because they say my shoe room look like a stock room, like yours does too. But I was like, it makes it easy for me to find stuff and I know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to be able to find the shoe really quick and I would have insoles sitting in different sizes. Like on the beginning of my shift, I would stack different sizes of insoles right near the exit of going out of the stock room. And I would go ahead and put one in there. And that would be the shoe that they try on. I'd be like, here, try that on. They'd be like, oh, yeah, yeah. I'd be like, how that feel? They'd be like, oh, that feel good. Yeah, yeah, I like this. And then I take it out. I'm like, now see how I feel. They'd be like, oh, I'd be like, this right here, what you need. That's how I used to sell my insoles. So yeah,
See, I don't want you to get upset at me. Now, if I did that, I'm a slick shiesty, dude salesman. But you being a lady, y'all can do that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And be like,
yeah,
I do it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. And then I
Uh,
used to just be straight up too with some of the dudes. I'd be like, I need you to buy this cleaner. They're like, you gonna give me your number? I'd be like, yup, if you buy this cleaner. And then I just go in the back because we had the headsets. And I'd be like, hey, that dude coming to the register, that's my cell, but I'm gonna be in the back hiding. Let me know when he leaves. So I did do that too.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. This was at exhibition, and it was because it was, it's a boutique, is a little different. I used to charge people for shoes, like holding shoes, because
Mm,
once I knew that there was an alleged backdoor culture there, I'm like, oh,
mm-hmm,
well, if they're doing it, I'm gonna do it. So,
mm-hmm.
you know, I would just people be like, oh, you happy because the shoe coming out because you gonna get them, and I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. It's gonna be out
I'm
because
gonna
I'm gonna.
make some
But
money too.
yeah, I'm like, if I want the shoe, it'll be free. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I used to do that. I worked there for 3 years before I did it, but that 72 and 10 release corrupted me. So from then on,
Ooh.
any phone positive, because see, the way I look at it, and I know you'll get this, if I only see you for the hype shit, you're not really my customer. You know what I mean?
Right,
You just
right.
buying clothes. You're not in here buying shoes that aren't hyped. So,
Yeah.
like this one dude and I got into that weird Air Max hype of like 2016 and 17, 18, where all the Air Maxes was hyped. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I haven't seen since the Atmos. It's been two
Right.
months. Like, I ain't got to hold you nothing, bro.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's true.
for that, and
It's
you
true.
see,
You would definitely have your regulars.
yeah, but if you really messed with me and the store, I would look out. I wouldn't charge. But if it's somebody who I only hear from you when you need something or when you want something, anywhere from
I'm gonna have to hit you
35
over
to
the
a hundred
head.
dollars, come on with it.
I got
Like
to hit you
you
on the
remember those
head.
gold?
I got to hit you on the which ones?
Yeah, you remember them gold
Which
Pinnacle
ones?
sixes?
Yeah.
They're a six that's all gold.
Mm-hmm.
Made like $700.
I know exactly
We
what.
was the only people in. Yep.
Wow. Wow. I know
You know.
exactly which ones you're
And,
talking about.
yeah. It's like you've never heard of this store or been here before. So yeah, you getting taxed, bro. Foam's the same thing. Since I'm not really a big, you know, ring out a pair. You already paid me extra, and I'm gonna keep the difference. So if I want this shoe, I'm gonna, yeah. So, because niggas will bother
That's
the
what's
fuck out of
up.
you. Call your phone, hit up your
Hey
Instagram.
man,
You
you
know,
still got it? You still gonna hold that pair for me? You still gonna hold that pair for
you
me?
still got me. So that shit costs. So people can be like, oh, well, you only got the shoes because you work at the store. Yeah, I might have access to them, but I'm dealing with all this other shit too. So I deserve that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
I ain't mad at you.
So
Hey,
yeah,
I ain't mad at you at all. Get how you get it.
I count the collection. I'm like, man, look, I had over X amount of pairs before I ever worked in the shoe store, bro. This isn't about
But
that.
that's annoying too, though, when people use it. Because to me, honestly, it's also too, you still gotta have the eye for one. And, for me too, it's still how you wear it. Like just because you got a shoe don't mean you know how to wear it. That's a whole nother conversation too. But, it's still the eye because I just have this it's a little deep, but I'm like, if a shoe is meant for me, I'm gonna have it. It's gonna come to me. Now, it may not be when it releases, but I'm gonna get the shoe. It's gonna make like them Stoudemire. I'm like, it's gonna make its way to me. It may be a year or two, but I'm gonna get the shoe because if it's meant for me, I'm gonna have it. Like that's just
Yeah.
how I am about shoes. But also too, like, do you think that this hype is going to like kind of subside? Because I know it does go in waves with this thing, and I think a lot of this big kick has been with the pandemic, and that's why a lot of people are bored and they just start buying shoes. And I'm kind of like waiting for it to lull back out so y'all can move out the way. But I mean, because you kind of called it with the dunk. So what's your prediction with like the sneaker culture? Do you see it kind of dying down sooner? Do you think it's gonna still reach a whole nother level? It's still got more levels to hit? What you think?
It's gonna die down because everybody didn't even have the money they had 6 months or a year ago. So it's already gonna start to kind
True.
of go back to normal. But you've been in this business as well, so I think that Nike is just figuring out the next thing. If it's going to be foams or if it's going to be something else that's going to be hot, because Jordans are about
Yeah.
due for another cool period, like 2015,
Yeah.
16 when it was
Yeah.
Adidas. You know,
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah.
about for another, where
Yeah.
the hot still sell, but nobody will care about anything else. So it'll spin back around. You know it.
I'm
You
ready
know
for it. I know that. I'm ready because I'm
it,
just like,
it, us OGs that have been doing it.
yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, okay. But I guess to be honest, actually, I take that back. It's not really bothering me because, like I said, they're going for all the hype stuff anyway. So it ain't really bothering me. Now if I was really going after a lot of the new releases, I think I would be more annoyed. But like I said, just the way I collect and the way I get shoes, it honestly really hasn't bothered me too much now that I'm actually thinking about it. I've still been getting stuff in my opinion that I think is dope. I've still been able to get some really nice things. Like I said, I've been getting some really good reach backs. I really don't think it's been affecting me too much. It's just annoying. Like that
Yeah,
one pair that you actually would want to actually just buy on release day that you can't. That's the only annoyance. But other than that, I mean, I don't think it's affecting me too much. I don't think. Other than today with them Yeezys. But I had already, like you said, I'd already detached myself from it. So I already knew I wasn't going to get them. It was just like, yeah, kicks and giggles. I'll try and see what happens, basically.
yeah, yeah. And this is one thing I wanted to say too. Before we wrap up, I feel like sometimes size comes into play. Like my wife, for instance, she doesn't have the luxury of waiting the shoe out like I do because she wears a women's 10.
Mm,
A lot of times,
mm,
stores, it'll only be one women's 10. You know what I mean?
that's
So,
it. That's it. No
yeah,
love.
she has to get it. You know what I
That's a
mean?
rough size.
Yeah. So these are the ones I found earlier. Again,
Uh,
$18, man. I couldn't leave them, and I verified that they were real. So, yeah,
oh my God. I'm going there, right?
yeah. Hey, it's one in Chapel Hill and it's one in Durham. I went to the one in Durham. Uh,
I'm going to both of them.
they, they real, they cool. I mean, I found a
Wow.
jersey in there before. It was like from back in the day, but still.
So you done found a little honey spot. Like I said, you just gotta find your little honey spots. And once you find your little honey spots, you just gotta keep going in and checking on them. You done found one I
Yeah.
didn't even know about. So
Yeah.
you're
Well,
doing good.
since I know that we'll be communicating, regularly.
Yes.
Like, hey, did you see
Yes.
this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Definitely. Definitely.
yeah. But I really, really appreciate you, being on the
No,
on the
thank
show.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
being
much.
on the third.
it
Yeah. Well,
was it
anything you
was a
want to say
pleasure.
before we wrap up?
I had a blast. It was a pleasure. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it was fun. I love talking about sneakers, so I could be on here all day. So I know it's a school night, so we got to wrap it up. But I had a blast. I really did, and I look forward to us kind of exchanging, some stuff that we find and be like, hey, looking out for each other. And I'll definitely stop in the store whenever I'm at the outlet too, and come holler at you.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna close it off. Thank you once again, and I will be in touch with you.
Sounds good. Y'all have a great night.
All right. Peace, everybody.
All right, bye.